JJ the Beatnik in Denver, Colorado. See more better with free prescription lenses. Just see more. Actually, Mo. Call me Mo. Mo better, because I'm going to have you seeing Mo better, looking Mo better. And I'm going to show everyone else how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses when I cut the transitions. Generation 8 Graphite Green with Crizal Sapphire for your Ray-Ban 2132 new Wayfarer color 622, which is the matte black rubber and the 52 eye size. Let me take everything out of the original packaging that Ray-Ban sends it to me. Your Italian leather Ray-Ban case. You know how this is a real Italian Ray-Ban case? It does this. You know, that's pretty convincing right there. Have you ever had one that didn't do that? Yeah, okay, so that's how you know it's real. So, inside the case, sanitized for your protection. Millennials will have no idea what that means. Years ago, when you checked into a hotel, they would have a paper banner across the toilet saying sanitized for your protection. And of course, there is your Ray-Ban cleaning cloth with junk mail, because you just don't get enough junk mail in your mailbox, so they have to put it in your eyeglass case. And there's a number on here if you want to increase the robocalls that you get during the day. So make sure you call and activate that number. So, okay, let's take and only the matte black rubber comes in a plastic bag. I don't know why. Actually, there used to be a blue rubber and a green rubber, and those would come with that too. Now, it is, licensed to plastic. That's it. So, these are the sunglasses with the original G15 lenses in there. It comes with a little plastic sleeve on the temple to protect the temples from rubbing together when it is being shipped from Italia. I'm not sure where that is. It's I don't know if it's a mystical made-up place. Italy. I don't know, wherever Ray-Bans are made at. But of course, on this one, it is the RB 2132 new Wayfarer color 622, the matte black rubber, 52 eye size, 52 from the corner of this lens to the corner of this lens. Coincidentally, also happens to be the same number from that lens too. 18 millimeter for the bridge from the center of this lens to the the edge of that lens to the edge of the other is 18 millimeters, and a 145 temple length. And now here's another teaching moment. That number, the 145, 150, 125, that is from the middle of the screw head back. If the temple goes all the way to the front, it does not matter. It's where that screw starts that you would measure 145 millimeters. There are some temples that are 125 because the frame wraps around and then the temple starts here. 125 can actually feel longer than a 145. So take that into account, all you eyeglass aficionados out there. Now, of course, as I mentioned, these are the original glass G15 lenses. I'm going to install a lightweight, unbreakable graphite green that's going to be very close to this color when we're done. So let's begin. I'm going to pop out the original glass demo lenses. How can you tell they're glass? From the sound. And I'm going to install lightweight polycarbonate lenses. I do want to get any of the residual glue or the adhesive that Ray-Ban puts on the sunglass lenses before they pop in there. Usually you don't see that when it's a dark lens, but when we're about to put a clear lens in, you will. So I like to rub all of that out. I'm going to put the frame into the tracing element of my blocker. By the way, Essilor is a French company, and it's going to go to war with the Italian frame. But actually, I'm going to program this shape into the computer. You are Secret Agent 1917. Why? Because you single-handedly ended World War I. You got both sides to start talking, hang out, let's go out for a beer. And everyone got along just fine. There was no fighting after that. So, you are Secret Agent 1917. Oh, but let's program that into the computer. 1917. Hit start. And a little stylus is going to pop up, go around and trace the inside bevel of the right side of the frame before doing the same thing on the left. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed in quality. You buy a genuine, authentic Ray-Ban frame and you'll receive one free pair of clear single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. My receipt has my federal ID tax number. So if you have vision insurance and unused health savings account flex dollars, you will get reimbursed for this purchase. Let me say that again. Reimbursed for this purchase, whether they are prescription or not. JJ, the Beatnik, you know you need prescription. except for right here. You see great here, but anything beyond arm's reach, you need it. I'm telling you, you need it. So, ooh, the job selected compromises 2 negative areas. The latter cannot be edged. Do you want to delete these negative areas of the job? Yes. And now it's going to be the right shape. It just must have hung on the rubber texture. So, let's enter your pupillary distance of 33.5 for the right eye. So the computer starts at 32.5. I only have to tap the plus button one time because it goes up in 0.5 millimeter increments to 33. I do want to raise the optical center up 3 millimeters to 22. I'm going to tap that a few times so we get to 22 millimeters. Now, the blue crosses the geometric center of your frame. Your eye is just above that in inset and that little orange graph. So, the lab was kind enough to put an R on here and an L. I'm not sure what that means. So let's go figure it out in the lensometer what the power is. Your right eye is a -2 sphere. Let me come down to my dusty and trusty Marco 101 lensometer. Put the lens in. Let's see if it's on -2. Yes. Rotate the lens. I'm not getting any change in power, so this has got to be the right lens. Let me just double check that. Yep, same power all over. So I'm going to put 3 dots on your lens. Only one is required. And we're going to mark this one R. R. Some people used to say here in the South. We're going to turn the axis wheel to 25 for the left eye. Keep it on the same -2 for the power. And rotate until the spherical component comes into view, which is 3 skinny lines in the lensometer. Hopefully, someone out there can provide a link that shows how to use a lensometer, and I will put that in the description of this video if you guys want to see how a lensometer works. And I'm going to put 3 dots on this lens. Uno, dos, ocho. I mathed wrong, and I'm going to put an L at the top. L is Latin for not right. Oh, I want to put that up there. So let's place that down there. This is the block, or as I like to call it, Jenny from the block. The way you can tell whether this is real is if you do that with it. Only real ones get out of control. So I need 2 double-sided adhesive stickers, of which I've got 2 right here. These are my last 2. The rest of these, they're imposters. Don't trust them. These 2, come on, eye contact. These 2 are the ones I'm going to be using. The black side is the sticky side. I'm going to stick this one onto the first block. We're going to do the same thing now for the second block. On the back is a little silver button. That is a magnet that's going to do its job twice. The first time is attach itself to another magnet there in the arm. Pull the paper away to make the black side sticky. Line that up. And we're going to use just the center dot alone because these are spherical lenses. You have no astigmatism in your right eye, so in theory, I can rotate this any way I want to get this started. It will not matter with your vision. Now, if these were polarized, that would be a different story. It has to go in there a certain way. But out of habit, I'm going to line up those 3 dots, hit that button. The arm's going to come down and place the block onto what shall be known from this point forward as the right lens. This, the unright lens, place on the platform. Pupillary distance for the left eye, 31.5. So let's program that in there, 31.5. Same optical center height. Pull the paper away to make the black side sticky. Line up the magnet. Place that on there. Now I do have to use those 3 dots because you have the smallest amount of astigmatism you can possibly have. So I therefore cannot rotate the lens any which way. It has to go in there a certain way. You're making me do my job right. I hate it when someone makes me do that. Okay, so that's on there. Now, come down here to the edger. Now, this is what you can do at home. If anyone wants to eliminate my job, I'm the first one. I would like to stay at home and rearrange my sock drawer all day because I get to work and I'm just stressed that the socks aren't organized correctly and I can't do it till I get home. But you can help me with that. Help me. I'm a Kickstarter program that I can stay home and rearrange my sock drawer. All you have to do is spend $40,000 on this piece of equipment. It's known as the edger. You also have to go to school, get licensed, open up an account with the lens companies, then with the frame companies, and then you can cut your lenses at home. You just have to buy this again for $40,000. It weighs 200 pounds. put it on your kitchen counter or your water bed, and then you can cut lenses at home, and you won't need this guy with the two thumbs who rearranges the sock drawer to cut them for you. Now, the cutting wheel is this diamond crusted wheel. I used to have the cubic zirconian one, but it was I decided, looking at my Faguzzi, it was about that time to buy the real one. So this is a diamond crusted wheel. This is what's going to grind away your lens material from this size to this size. You see that, kids? This size, this size. I start with this, I finish with that. So this wheel in the center that has that little groove, the channel, that's what's going to put the V-shaped bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. Now this third wheel, I'm not going to use that third wheel. This third wheel is dead to me. No, but that's the one that polishes lenses, and I don't polish a lot of lenses, so we're going to leave that one alone. I'm going to wake up, how about that for an aviator shape? That's the last one I just cut. I'm going to wake up the computer, 1917. Again, these are polycarbonate lenses. If they were plastic, high index plastic or Trivex, I would select that. My favorite one, to be determined. Some secret space age material that's going to come out in the future. I'll be able to cut it then, but for now, we're going to stick with polycarbonate. I'm not going to polish the edge of the lens. I'm not going to put a safety bevel. I could do a light bevel, a heavier bevel, or no bevel. I'm selecting no bevel, and I'm going to put a slightly heavier bevel on the rear of the lens, even though no portion of this lens shall protrude from the frame. And if anyone has anything to say it now or forever hold your peace. But before I hit the start button, I'm going to press that on there firmly onto the right lens. Now the magnet's going to do its job a second time. It's going to attach itself to another magnet there in the chuck. Or by now, you know I like to call it the Charles, because I just don't know this machine well enough to call it chuck. So I'm going to hit the green button. The door closes. The clamp shuts. The lens will be traced by two off-white styluses. And tracing the shape of the right lens first, making sure it's large enough, and then the second time it's measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly and precisely where to place the bevel so you have the least amount of edge thickness showing. Now I could manually override this and tell it where to place the bevel, but for this prescription I'm going to let this $40,000 piece of software do its job. Now the light you see flickering in the background is water. It's there to capture optical sawdust should this lens ever touch down onto the cutting wheel. But polycarbonate lenses cut dry, meaning that no water sprays onto the lens during the cutting cycle like it does for plastic, high-index plastic, and Trivex lenses. I can't tell you about these new space-age futuristic lenses because they're not invented yet. So, but water will spray onto the lens for the last 20 seconds to wash away the optical debris, also known as schwarf, that you see forming on the edge of the lens. Now normally I tell everyone that these are lightweight, unbreakable lenses that are 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic, has 100% UVA and B protection, has 30 to 40% blue light protection, as well as Crizal Sapphire. Normally I would tell you all about that, but I'm not going to. Tonight I am going to tell you, let me tell you a little bit about JJ the Beatnik in Denver, Colorado. Doing my job on the internet, it's hard to, and I'm a people person, it's hard to really make a connection with someone on the internet like I can face to face. But he called me up, he had some questions about frames. Originally he was going to go with a Warby Parker crystal frame. He ended up going with something complete opposite of what he originally contacted me about. But I said, yeah, get a Warby Parker frame, mail it to me, I'll cut the lenses for you. But he saw me wearing my Ray-Ban 2132 new Wayfarer in so many videos and decided to go with what I was wearing. But he's going to help me out with a project to be determined later. Some space-age futuristic thing, probably going to be on the internet, if the internet's still around in a couple weeks. But really great guy, and we've really connected. And it's funny how I've been doing this for several years now, cutting lenses for Versace's, Oakley's, Ray-Ban, BMW, Harley Davidson, Ralph Lauren, Crizal. I'm picking up some new collections. I'm making my own frames, and that's what he's actually going to collaborate with me. But I've just been busy. I've been doing my own thing hectically, frantically, doing it at my own pace, which is a crazy pace, but doing it the only way that I've known how to do it from experience. And gradually over time I learned a little bit, a piece here, a piece there, almost like a jigsaw puzzle. But here he comes along and he comes up to me, tells me what I can do, looks at my website, and he understands how websites work, SEO, marketing, you know, all of that stuff. I'm going to take the lens out, dry it off. I know this is going to fit. By the way, FYI, fun fact, this is the frame that made me build my website. This is the frame that made me start selling on the internet. Can you believe that I had one product on my website when I started, and it was this frame? Now it came in a 52 eye size, this size, as well as a 55. It now comes in a 58. But I only had one product. Can you imagine? Well, McDonald's had one burger when they first opened, and then I grew and grew. I just knew that this frame, so I tuck it in at the outside corner, push down the nose, it snaps right in. Look at that. Flip that over to L, place the magnet into the Chuck, the Charles, the Chucky baby, or tonight I'm calling it the JJ. Hit the green button, and yeah, normally I'd come down here and inspect the lens, and I can do that. But what JJ did is, while I was in the middle of walking, he came up and he was able to translate what he does. He parlayed the same way I parlay information to everyone else about glasses. He parlayed information to me. And essentially, here I am working my jigsaw puzzle, putting everything together. Okay, this, that, let me rotate that. And he comes up and just lays a piece of my jigsaw puzzle down, and all of a sudden, my eyes get real wide. And I'm looking around, and here I was, thought I had all the puzzles to make all the pieces of the puzzle to make my puzzle complete, and he lays one down. And all of a sudden I realized I've been focusing here and not here, where I can grow exponentially. And it's just a gift that he had. He came down and put this puzzle, and I will be forever grateful for what he's able to help me collaborate with going forward. And I want everyone out there watching, I want you to impact someone's life the way he has for me. We've become very good friends. I want you guys who are listening to impact someone else. Pay it forward. Be that puzzle, that piece of the puzzle for someone who thinks they have their life together, but come, inject something from your life and make someone realize they've been missing a piece of the puzzle that really ties everything together and gives their life so much more meaning, so much more functionality. And that's it. So I get to use a prop. I don't always get to use props. By the way, does this one look handmade? Does it look like it was drawn with a blue pen from a yellow Post-it note? Because it wasn't. I know it looks that way, but it wasn't. It wasn't this Post-it note. It was one over by my computer desk. So I have more. I don't want to brag, but I have more than one of these. So, and by the way, I don't want to brag, but I have more than one of these too. It's I can brag and tell you that's imported. It's from China, and I don't buy just one. I splurge. I buy them in packs of 50 to 100. It's one of my favorite optical tools, but that's another story. That's another video. So let's come down here, do half my job correctly because he does his job so well. Check the power. -2. Look at that. Of course, you can get all this from other videos. But go out there, make an impact in someone's life. It's not what you get in life, although it's pretty nice, everything you get. If you really want to find meaning in life, it's not what you get, it's what you give. Make a difference in someone's life. Now, if you're young and struggling financially, personally, spiritually, physically, religiously, that's easier said than done. But once you get a hold of life and you start to understand the bigger picture of things, you see yourself as one part of the puzzle and how we're all interconnected. We're all one piece of the machine. And trust me, if one piece of the machine breaks, it puts added stress, added friction on all the other pieces of the machine until everything in the machine quits working properly. And one thing I want to do, I want to wipe off some of the ink from the lab that's on the edge of the lens, because that's close contact where it's going to come with the frame. I always like to remove that. So I have the side I'm working on closest to me. Tuck the lens in at the outside corner. Wait, hang on. Which is the right side? I think it goes in like this. Hang on. I just got to get a hammer. And I'm just going to whack it one good time. No, okay. Let's turn it this way. Speaking of pieces of the jigsaw puzzle, this is how it fits into this puzzle. Press down, it snaps in there. Because this was so easy, I knew I could send lenses to people. This frame's been around since 1992. Pull that off, dry that in, throw that back in the pond. This frame's been around since 1992, so I knew I could sell just prescription lenses to people and have them fit into their own Ray-Ban new Wayfarers. But if you want the whole frame, hey, I got that too. By the way, if you like this frame, click on the link in the description below the video and it'll take you right to my website where you can see all 3 colors and all the available, all 3 sizes. The 52, the 55. How do I know it's 55? It says it right there. Since it usually says it on the temple. But this one was wounded in war. It's a paraplegic. It lost both its arms. But the 55 eye size, and then there's also a 58, which I affectionately refer to as the windshield. But when someone buys lenses for their frame, I keep this up here as a template, and I just use this to trace it, pop the lenses in, and then get them shipped. So, if someone wants the 52, I can just take my frame off and trace it and send them their own lenses. All right, let me put mine back on. Axis wheel should still be at 25. I haven't changed that. Check the power. I'm getting -2. Check the axis wheel. I end up at -2 1/4. And how did I get there? Because we add 2 like signs together, 2 1/4, and you end up with 2 1/4. So your pupillary distance is 33 for the right eye, 31.5 for the left. That adds up to 68. No, wait, 64.5. Again, I mathed wrong. So, turn the card around, place the PD stick against my thumb. On the right lens, when we hold it up to the left lens, we're getting 64.5, so that is cut perfectly. Let's check the optical center height of 22. When you go to the middle of the frame, here at the bottom, we are getting 22 millimeters. Not the bottom of the lens, top of the frame. The middle of the frame at the bottom, 22 millimeters. That is cut perfectly. Now, this is the portion in every video that as I clean your lenses, I mentioned that this purchase is tax-free and includes free shipping anywhere in the U.S. I now point out tax-free because a lot of vendors are now having to charge tax on the internet. I do not do that. Crizal Sapphire has an extra powder coating. Let me clean this off and really clean them thoroughly. I just don't like to get a lot of the cleaning chemicals near the frame. So I'm going to take these out and do that. But a lot of companies are having to charge tax now, but I'm in North Carolina. North Carolina considers eyeglasses a medical device, and there is no tax on medical devices. So fortunately, because of the state I'm in, you do not have to pay tax regardless. If someone in Illinois or other states, you bought their glasses online, they would have to charge you tax. Everything is tax-free and includes free shipping. It also includes, what? Free prescription lenses with the purchase of every frame. Now, upgrades are available, but if money is tight, all you have to do is buy any frame from me, and you're going to get 1 set of clear aspheric poly, which means it's thinner and lighter than other lenses with a wider field of view, and you'll get that high-quality lens in any frame you pick out. So again, we're going to pop these back in. But I'm going to get these in standard alignment, also known as a 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I set them on the counter and press down. There is no wobble. When I say wobble, when I take mine off and press down, they wobble on the counter, but they sit level on me. Oh, but what I was going to say is, when you get these in the mail, and of course free shipping, the last time I checked, Denver, Colorado was still in the U.S., free shipping anywhere in the U.S. But when you get these in the mail, there's a chance these could be too loose or too tight. I have an imaginary head in here. That's what would make it too tight. But there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That's because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other. As I mentioned, I'm part of that 80%. But because of that, 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments. So just stop anyone out there who's watching this who bought Ray-Bans from a Sunglass Hut, but they're not fitting right. Just stop by any eyeglass shop like I am, and they'll just tell them what needs to be done, and it only takes about 30 seconds to a minute to adjust a pair of glasses perfectly. It's not often that a professional service is given for free, but in my field it is. So, but again, when I take mine off, they wobble on the counter, but they sit level on me. And again, I'm wearing the color JJ ordered 622, the matte black rubber, which essentially is just a nice rubber sheath over a plastic inside, just like mine are hard plastic. But this grips really well. Now, even though I'm not there to adjust glasses, if you're hot and sweaty, this rubber just grips so well and just does not slide. They used to make this in a blue color, and that was my favorite color, but I wore that thing out. So now I have the blue crystal, which is color 6053, because I generally have on a blue shirt with a white print, and that blue crystal matches almost everything I wear. Let me put mine back on so I can see what I'm doing. By the way, I have Transitions gray lenses with Crizal Sapphire. He has the Generation 8 Graphite green with Crizal Sapphire. So that's why you can tell it's Sapphire, because it has a blue reflex. The reflection you see on the lens is known as the anti-glare reflex. And there's less of that on the Crizal Sapphire. But let's go ahead and, did I flip that over? Press down, there is no wobble. Close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly, and they do. So not only do I send out a selfie request in every package, and JJ, I'd love to have two, one with them clear, one with them outside where you can see them dark. Maybe with the daylight from the side so you can see the graphite green if that's possible. Instead of just a head-on picture, turn your head where you can see a little sunlight coming through. But I also send out cleaning instructions not only for your frame and lenses, but for the premium microfiber cloth that I'm going to provide, but for the Crizal cleaning cloth that you're going to get for the Crizal Sapphire. And of course that also includes instructions on how to care for your Ray-Ban cleaning cloth. I don't tell you what to do with the junk mail. I'll leave that up to your discretion. So, but this is what your lenses look like before they have been activated. I'm going to expose them to a strong burst of ultraviolet light in my little Transitions adaptive lenses box. See for yourself. So, as you can see, it takes about 30 to 45 seconds for transition lenses to turn dark. A little bit longer when you come back inside, a minute to a minute 15. Now this is important. Everyone pay attention. All transition lenses will get dark on day 1 and continue to darken every day for the first 2 weeks they're exposed. After that, they'll work for years at maximum performance. The only time that the transition lenses won't work is if you're behind the windshield of a car. Your windshield absorbs the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays that would cause your dashboard to crack, and that's why they won't turn dark in a car. Now the extra active will get about 30 to 50% dark. So these are the Generation 8 Graphite Green. It looks almost like the Ray-Ban G15 lenses in there. Really sharp look there. But also they're temperature sensitive, meaning they will get darker when it's 85 and below than they will when it's 95 and above. But I remind everyone, when it's 100 degrees outside, you're miserable, they're miserable. Nobody works 100% when it's 100 degrees outside. We all work better when it cools off. And I'm waiting for this to turn back to virtually clear. I want you to see it in real time, how it went from sunglass dark to clear inside. And it's going to do that. By the way, please like and subscribe to my channel. And when you subscribe, turn on the bell in the right hand corner so you can get more notifications as more videos come up. I've got some really exciting stuff coming up in the future. Wink wink, nod nod. And that way you'll be able to see when it comes out. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram as freeprescriptionlenses.com. On Twitter as freerxlenses. And if you have any questions, you can email me at directly at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com, or simply click the contact me button on the website. You can also leave a question or comment in the comment section below, and I will respond back to that. So JJ, the Beatnik, thank you for being that piece of the puzzle that I did not know was missing. And thank you also for the purchase of the Ray-Ban 2132 new Wayfarer, size 52 in the color 622. If anyone else is also interested in this frame, it's available in there's a link in the description below. But thanks again for all you've done, JJ. Thanks again for everyone who's watching. You can see how these have turned back to virtually clear. And now everyone else has got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.